Greetings from Prescott, Arizona. I'm standing here with the 2025 Can-Am Canyon Redrock. So Can-Am's three-wheel platform started in 2007 with the Spyder RS. And Can-Am's approach with developing and launching a three-wheel vehicle like this is, as they say, they want to democratize roads. They really want to improve the accessibility and open up the riding experience to a larger number of riders. Not everybody is comfortable on two wheels. Not everybody is comfortable operating a clutch and shifting gears and so forth. So the Spyder RS, like I said, was launched in 2007. And over the past decade and a half, they've really expanded the lineup. There is, at the top of the line is the Spyder RT, which is their touring model lineup. There's the F3, which is more of a cruiser style three-wheeler. And then there's the Ryker, which is a lower price point, a lot more smaller, playful size vehicle. And now they've added a fourth family, which is this Can-Am Canyon. And as you can see, it's covered in dirt. We've been riding on dirt roads here in Arizona. And the idea is that this is three-wheeled adventure, and it also is trying to make adventure more accessible to a wider number of people. You know, adventure bikes are very popular right now, but also, riding on unpaved roads is tricky. It requires a skill set that not everybody has. There's also the concern about tipping over a motorcycle in a low traction situation. Today, for example, we were riding through some mud, through quite a bit of loose sand and rock and so forth. And I've actually ridden part of the route that we were on today on an adventure bike, and on some of the tight turns and things, it feels a little bit sketchy. But I have to say, riding it on the Canyon, it was absolutely a total blast, and everything made sense. I was relaxed, I was enjoying myself, and it just felt like I could really do nothing wrong. So there are three models in the Canyon family. So there's the standard model, the standard Canyon, then there's the XT, which adds some luggage and some additional features, and then this is the top of the line Redrock, which also has luggage. It's got a special paint job. My wife said it looks like a military vehicle. My brother said it looks like, Rambo's three-wheeler. But at the top of the line Redrock, you've got Fox Smart Shocks semi-active suspension. You've got a custom ride mode in addition to the standard ride modes that are available in all of the Canyons. And all of them are powered by the Rotax 1330 inline triple. Rotax is an engine company that's owned by BRP, which is the parent company for Can-Am. And it's an engine that was developed for the entire line of Can-Am's three-wheelers. So it's a very smooth engine, it's a very torquey engine, and it's very versatile for a wide range of riding. So, for example, in the RT, it's very smooth for touring, but it had plenty of the torque and power for riding today off-road. Putting this into a rally mode allows not exactly drifting, but it loosens up the amount of traction control intervention. It makes it a very fun machine. So one of the things that Can-Am wants to emphasize is that even though the Canyon is made for dirt roads, it's still an on-road vehicle. This is not an off-road vehicle. Can-Am makes side-by-sides and ATVs. That's really for the off-road experience. But this is to open up more of the unpaved roads. There are many of them out there, way more unpaved roads out in the world than there are paved roads. And so dirt roads and gravel roads and so forth. We were in Prescott National Forest today. They're what connect you to certain campgrounds and remote areas that really is kind of what people seek when they are going for an adventure ride. So one of the things that makes this really good for adventure is it's a taller vehicle. It's got over 6 inches of ground clearance, and it's also got a lot more suspension travel. In the front, there's over 10 inches of suspension travel for the front shocks, and in the rear, there's 9 inches of suspension travel. The suspension, again, at the Redrock level where you've got the semi-active, you can set the damping levels in terms of stiffness. You can also adjust with the ride modes. There's a rally mode, there's an all roads mode, there's a normal mode. They all will change things such as the dynamic power steering, the engine character, as well as suspension and so forth. So there's a wide range of riding experiences you can have for this on-road vehicle. So riding today on these dirt roads, a lot of them were very bumpy, very rocky, and the suspension travel that this vehicle has, it really soaked it up really well, and especially in the rally mode, which makes a softer suspension, allows it to really absorb a lot of the bumps. This has got a seating position where it's got a taller handlebar, so you can sit up more, and you can even stand up. It's got enduro style foot pegs. You can stand up on those. I never really felt the need to. I was just, it was really soaking up everything that we were dishing out. These are really just rough unpaved roads. We weren't trail braking. We weren't out in sand dunes or anything like that. That's not what this is designed for. Overall, it's really impressive. Can-Am, the Spyder and Ryker lineup that they've had since 2007 has really evolved and become much more user-friendly and sophisticated. For example, it's got a semi-automatic transmission, so that means there's no clutch lever. So anyone who doesn't know how to operate a manual transmission, and there are a lot of people like that, there are not a lot of manual transmission cars out these days, is you don't have to operate a clutch. You just have a little paddle shifter and you use that to upshift through the gears, but it will downshift automatically as you come to a stop, or you can also use the paddle shifters to shift up and down as desired. Another thing that also makes this a very user-friendly vehicle is it's got Brembo brakes, it's got ABS that's on all the time, it can't be turned off, but it's got a single brake pedal, so there's no brake lever. So one single action braking, and it operates the brakes on all three wheels. And as you can see, these are large automotive style wheels, so they've got large contact patches. So if you want to come to a stop in a hurry, you push down on that brake pedal, and these three Brembo brakes and the three wheels really dig in and grip the pavement really well. Because adventure riding and adventure experiences, people have a lot of interpretations of what that means. So one of the things that Can-Am has is 25 dedicated accessories just for the Canyon. So Can-Am has something called the Link system, which is a way for you to basically add accessories to the vehicle. For example, this one has an optional tank bag that just clips on and it clips off. The luggage that you see, it can be removed. The passenger seat can be removed. You can have what's called a large link plate, and so you can add luggage of different size. You can have utility type boxes. You've got the saddlebags, and you can add and subtract different things depending on what kind of riding experience. If you wanted to go camping, for example, if you remove the passenger seat, have the large link plate, you could have the top box, or you could have a big utility box that you could put your tent in, your food in, and all that. So for adventure riding, this has more off-road, well, not off-road, but more adventure style tires. So they've got a little bit of a knobbier pattern, so they are going to hook up better in some of the low traction dirt and rock and so forth kind of roads. Now, all Spyders are belt driven, so it's a very smooth, low maintenance final drive system. And again, what you wouldn't want is if you're riding in air, we were kicking up lots of rocks today, is you wouldn't want any sort of rocks or debris to get between the belt drive and the pulley. So there are guards that protect the belt. And this, for example, the Redrock has a skid plate underneath, because there could be times where you're going over a large rock or something and you may drag it along the bottom. It is a bit interesting where you've got a 3-track vehicle. So you've got the 2 tires in the front, and then you've got a single track in the middle. So a lot of times roads, if you maybe have sort of a 2-track lane on a dirt road, so you've got to get a little bit creative to sort of maybe get around some ruts, or if there's some rocks or something like that. But the steering, the handling, everything is very user-friendly. All the Spyders and Rykers have a Bosch designed vehicle stability system. So that includes traction control, and it really helps keep the vehicle from really doing anything unexpected. And so again, since this is an on-road vehicle, you can't turn all of the electronic rider aids off. In a rally mode, it will reduce some of that traction control intervention, but it still is, again, Can-Am really wants us to emphasize that this is an on-road vehicle, but it can be unpaved roads, and there's a lot of those where you can have a lot of fun. So I'll be riding one of these Can-Am Canyon Redrocks home, so I'll be able to get some more on-road, long distance impressions, because a big part of adventure is really going to destinations, doing some touring, and that's oftentimes involves more pavement than dirt. So I'm going to load up the luggage with my gear, hit the roads, and head back to California, take some of Route 66, go see some of the beautiful country between northern Arizona and California. So I'll add some more impressions about that. And also we're going to have a full review on ridermagazine.com, so check that out. If you have any questions or comments, please add those below. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll have more videos coming soon. So thanks for watching.